Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrutyam Naran Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jaya Mudhiraye Nashtaprayesha Badreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhakti Bhavati Naistiki. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 24 and Text 19. Ayam Siddha Ganadhishaha Ayam Siddha Ganadhishaha Sankhya ācāryaihi susammataha Sankhyaचार्यैः susammataha Loke Kapila iti ācyam Loke Kapila iti ācyam Gantha te kirti vardanaha Gantha te kirti vardanaha Ayam Siddha Ganadhishaha Sankhyaचार्यै susammataha Loke Kapila iti ācyam Gantha te kirti vardanaha Ayam Siddha Ganadhishaha Sankhyaचार्यैः susammataha Loke Kapila iti ācyam Gantha te kirti vardanaha Acāryaiः susammataha Siddha Ganadhishaha Sankhyaचार्यैः susammataha Ayam, this personality of Godhead, Siddha Gana, of the perfected sages, Adhishaha, the head, Sankhya ācāryaihi, by ācāryas, expert in Sankhya philosophy, susammataha, approved according to Vedic principles, Loke, in the world, Kapilaha iti, as Kapila, ācyam, celebrated, Gantha, he will go about, te, yava, kirti, fame, Vardanaha, increasing. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Translation: Your son will be the head of all the perfected souls. He will be the approved by the ācāryas, expert in disseminating real knowledge. And among the people, he will be celebrated by the name Kapila. As the son of Devahūti, he will increase your fame. Please repeat, your son will be the head of all the perfected souls. He will be approved by the ācāryas, expert in disseminating real knowledge. And among the people, he will be celebrated by the name Kapila. As the son of Devahūti, he will increase your fame. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Sankhya philosophy is the philosophical system enunciated by Kapila, the son of Devahūti. The other Kapila, who is not the son of Devahūti, is an imitation. This is the statement of Brahma, and because we belong to Brahma's disciplic succession, we should accept his statement that the real Kapila is the son of Devahūti, and that real Sankhya philosophy is the system of philosophy which he introduced and which will be accepted by the ācāryas, the directors of spiritual discipline. The word Susammata means accepted by persons who are counted upon to give their good opinion. Dasansta Bhaktivedanta Purpoto Madhyanatimedan Dasya Jananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Ena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Nitinamine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Vaita Gadadara Shiva Sadi Gaura Bhakta Vrunda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So the Lord Brahma is revealing the name of the Supreme Lord, who is in the womb of Mother Devahūti. Here he is explaining that I am this personality of Godhead, Siddha Ganadishaha. He will be the head of all the Siddhas, perfected souls. Sankhya-ācāryai susammata, accepted by ācāryas, expert in disseminating the real knowledge. And loke Kapila iti ācāryam, and he will be celebrated by the name Kapila. And then gantate, he will move about, he will go about and increase kirtivardhanaha, your fame will be increased by Kapila. So now we will be seeing very soon the Sankhya philosophy exposed by explained by Lord Kapila. And that philosophy will be accepted by all the ācāryas who disseminate real knowledge. And also, he will be the leader of all the perfected souls. And obviously, he will be famous as Devahūti Sutta, or the son of Kardama. Whenever Prabhupada mentions about this Kapila Muni, Sankhya philosophy, he simultaneously warns about one more Kapila who appeared in the lineage of Agni and who also apparently quoting from Vedic scriptures. He calls his own system as Sankhya Smriti, but actually his philosophy, his name, they're simply imitations of the real philosophy that is exposed by Kardama's son, Devahūti's son, Lord Kapila. So what is this Sankhya philosophy? Sankhya means counting, or it means analytical study of this universe. By studying this universe analytically, the atheistic Kapila concludes that ultimately it is all the original cause is inexplicable, unmanifested, void. But whereas Devahūti Kapila, he explains analytically, he analyzes this universe and comes to the conclusion that there is a soul for this material universe. There is a supreme soul of this universe, and this analytical study should try to find him. This is the difference. So, according to the Sankhya philosophy, originally there is material nature. The material nature, they say, is eternal and always existing. And this material nature initially produces one material energy called Mahatattva. From Mahatattva comes the false ego, and from the false ego comes the 5 sense objects, and then the 10 senses, and then the mind, intelligence, and the 5 elements, totaling to 24 elements. And they also accept that there is an enjoyer of this material nature, and that enjoyer is the 25th element. So Sankhya philosophy says these 25 elements and their interactions, they completely define whatever is manifested in this world, and it completely defines the reality, the real knowledge about the original source. See, you should know, all the scientists, all the philosophers, they're always keen to understand what is the original source. When we see so many wonderful manifestations, people become fascinated. A scientist, he becomes fascinated by seeing these manifestations, and he will be drawn to research more and more to understand how these manifestations are coming about. And most of these scientists, because they are caught up in a limited time and space, they think that all these manifestations they're actually the result of matter itself. Matter, it is the ultimate cause of everything, and it manifests itself into various varieties. They think even the living beings, they're also matter. Combination of matter produces symptoms of life and symptoms of knowledge. So these are the various theories came from the atheistic Sankhya. Actually, atheistic Sankhya, they accept material nature, he accepts three modes, he accepts there is a living entity who is the enjoyer, and he also says all this matter exists in three stages. The one stage is that which causes happiness, one more stage is that which causes distress, and one more stage is that which causes illusion. Basically, they are referring to Satoguna, Rajoguna, and Tamoguna. So, when somebody looks into all this terminology, apparently looking like everything is matching the Vedanta philosophy, where there also you see Prakriti, material nature, three modes, enjoyer. The same nomenclature is used, but ultimately to prove that there is no God. Ultimately, they glorify the matter. So, here in this Bhagavatam, we are seeing the Supreme Lord, he appeared as Kapila, Devahūti Kapila, to give the real philosophy of this Sankhya. The Lord knows there is a tendency to understand this universe, how it came about. So he himself comes down to tell us how we should analyze. So this, for example, according to Sankhya, it says, you feed some grass to the cow, and automatically the milk comes out. So, grass is the cause of milk. You just feed it to the cow, and automatically the milk comes. Baladev Vidyabhushan refutes this, saying that same grass you give it to bull, automatically milk doesn't come out. Or you give it to a human mother. If you give grass to a human mother, it doesn't mean that automatically milk comes out. So, same grass, if you give to a cow, milk comes. But if you give to the bull, it doesn't come. What is this difference? Why is this difference? The difference is because there is a supreme conscious decision is there. Somebody decided cow after eating the grass should give milk, and bull it will not give milk. There is a conscious decision like that. So the real Vedanta philosophy says that behind these cosmic manifestations there is a conscious decision maker. There is a conscious being who is creating these varieties. It doesn't come automatically. So, recently I saw one scientist. He says, last 40 years I have analyzed this matter. I have analyzed to the level of atom. I went deeper into this atom to research, and at the end of my whole research and experience, and let me tell you, there is nothing. Simply for nothing, I have wasted 35-40 years. This is his realization after 35 years of analysis. So, a living entity who tries to understand this matter by direct perception, by understanding through his senses, ultimately comes to an atheistic, voidistic conclusion. They won't be able to understand that there is a superior arrangement. The scientists, they think ultimately there is one particle which gets mixed up and becomes various manifestations. The same particle mixes, becomes living entities. That same particle mixes up and then becomes various manifestations that we see. Water, air, fire, whatever you take, ultimately everything has to boil down to one single atomic particle. This is what their research is about. And in order to fool people, sometimes they name these particles as God particles, and trying to confuse that this is the original particle, original source for all these manifestations. But actually, in this universe is not a combination of a single particle. This universe is a combination of two particles. One is the material particle, and one more is the particle is called the soul. Since there are two particles which are mixed up to produce these universal manifestations, the question is, if there are two, who decided that there should be two? So one has to come to the conclusion that there is a supreme being who combines these two and then manifests these wonderful creations. So this is the real Sankhya philosophy. So Prabhupada is mentioning that one should not be fooled by the scientists and then their so-called scientific claims. Even if we see that the scientists are able to produce some wonderful material manifestations, one should not think that their philosophy is correct or their philosophy explains the reality. As of today, the science doesn't even accept mind. It doesn't even accept anything beyond the mind. It only has come to the level of the gross matter, doesn't even understand what are the senses and nothing about mind. So, okay, if somebody may say, yes, we are still trying to find out, we are trying to explain, and one day we will come to this mind and the further matter that is present in this world. But the point is that even in the understanding the gross matter, the scientists have made a lot of mistakes. Actually, as of today, the science doesn't understand what this matter. Forget about understanding higher aspects. So, through the research that they are doing, they are not able to even understand this matter. And even if they understand, their conclusion is ultimately there is nothing. From nothing, everything is coming. That is their philosophy. And by combining matter, you get the life, you get all these manifestations. So, here it is mentioned, ācāryai susammata. So this Devahūti's the son, whatever he is going to expose, will be accepted by all the ācāryas. Prabhupada is specifically drawing the attention to the Brahma Sampradaya. This statement is mentioned by Lord Brahma, susammataha. That means this philosophy will be accepted by the ācāryas who explain the real knowledge. Who explain the real knowledge. The ācāryas who knows the real knowledge, they accept the Kapila's Sankhya philosophy. So this is an important philosophy. We have to accept the knowledge only in a parampara. Particularly, Lord Brahma has accepted Lord Kapila's Sankhya philosophy. So similarly, in his parampara, all the ācāryas have accepted and uphold the Sankhya philosophy. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, in the Adilila, it is Prabhupada quotes how Baladev Vidyabhushan systematically refutes this atheistic Sankhya philosophy. Prabhupada beautifully summarizes the atheistic Kapila's arguments, and then also he quotes Baladev Vidyabhushan's refutation of all these points, one after the other. So, see, in our common, in our regular experience, we never see that the material ingredients, they combine and automatically become, various manifestations. Prabhupada gives the famous example that, you put all the bricks together and then, and you see one day all the bricks are combining and then becoming a nice temple or a nice building. We don't see any of these things. So currently, the scientists are not able to explain how there is a movement in the matter, how there is an intuition in the matter, and how there is a knowledge and living symptoms in the matter. They are not able to. Their explanations are all full of, they lack common sense. For example, they say the intuition is coming from the matter. That is the philosophy of Sankhya, the intuition. For example, a child is born, very intuitively that child knows how to get the milk. He reaches like that, you see the living entities showing some intuitions. So the Sankhya, atheistic Sankhya says this intuition is also coming from matter. But whereas the Bhagavad Gita or Vedanta says the intuition comes from the Supreme Lord, who is present as the Super Soul. So the Chaitanya Charitamrita explains that the material energy has two aspects, efficient cause and the material cause. So Vishnu also expands into two in order to manifest this material world. As Vishnu is the efficient cause, and it is said that as Advaita, ācārya is the material cause. Vishnu, he directs Maya as the efficient cause. Advaita ācārya, he directs Pradhana and then infuses the Pradhana and gives the material cause to the material creation. So Vishnu and Advaita ācārya are the causes of this material world and the material manifestations, not that the matter itself combines and produces all these wonderful creations. So this, in the parampara alone, we can get this real knowledge. The scientists vehemently oppose this possibility. They say knowledge means that which we can perceive through the senses, the direct perception. They vehemently oppose the idea that the knowledge can come down from an authority. If you take the knowledge from an authority, that is called the deductive process of knowledge, And if somebody tries to understand through his own sensual perception, that is called the ascending process of knowledge. Very stubbornly, the scientists, they deny that the knowledge can come down in a deductive process. They don't want to accept, they don't want to believe that the knowledge can come down from an authority. Whereas in our spiritual life, we take knowledge only in the descending process. Only by ācāryas, the ācāryas who are expert in the real knowledge, only by them we receive our knowledge. And whatever comes from the lotus mouth of the ācārya is accepted as evidence. It is accepted as the real knowledge. We don't require any other proof to prove whatever is given by the ācārya. So, Prabhupada books themselves are the evidence. We don't need any other source of evidence for that. Because Prabhupada, coming in the parampara, he takes his knowledge from his guru, and his guru takes the knowledge from his guru. Like that, it comes from the original guru, Krishna. And so, this Vedic evidence is self-effulgent. It doesn't depend on any other evidence. Sometimes, even in devotees, they try to prove this Prabhupada's knowledge or the knowledge which is mentioned in the books by some experimental evidences or sources. Actually, sometimes we may use it for preaching, but actually these statements doesn't require any other proof. They're proof by themselves. Our sometimes conditioned mind, it always wants some kind of a proof, and that proof means some material experience and material perception as the proof. But actually, these Vedic statements that doesn't require any such external proofs. It itself is an evidence, and one needs to just experience it by practicing these evidential statements as given by Prabhupada. So, these are the various points from this, and here we can see Kapila, he has enhanced the name and fame of his family, his father and mother, Kardama and Devahūti. So, if we want to really enhance the fame of our family, father and mother, then one has to become as exalted as ācārya, an exalted pure devotee. So only a pure devotee can enhance the kirti vardhanaha, the real fame of his parents. Like Prabhupada has enhanced the name and fame of his father and mother. He said, my father is a pure devotee. He trained me from the childhood in this pure devotional path. A devotee, by becoming a pure devotee, he enhances the name and fame of his family. Not otherwise. By becoming great in accumulating wealth, by becoming a good position in a company, or amassing a lot of assets, or getting some quick promotions, or by building some many houses and apartments, or becoming a big minister, or a great or a big scientist. None of these can make the family great. temporarily they may get some name and fame, but actually, if you want to really bring an eternal fame to the family, then you should become a great devotee, a pure devotee of the Supreme Lord. And our whole purpose of Krishna consciousness movement is to produce at least one pure devotee. Prabhupada says, my movement is successful if I can produce one pure devotee. So you can imagine how rare it is to become a pure devotee. And in one more place, Prabhupada says, all my disciples are pure devotees. And how is it that so many pure devotees, but then we see the pure devotees are also having some trouble like that. But actually, the seed that Prabhupada has given is pure, and the disciples who have sincerely taken that seed of pure devotional service, they're trying to sincerely water it, they're all pure devotees. But currently, we're all kacha. Still, we're like kacha mangoes. We're mango, but very bitter. Sometimes we don't like, we're bitter. But one day, when the mango becomes ripened, nice fragrance, wonderful sweet taste, that is the pure devotional stage. Once we become pure devotee, we'll be very pleasing to the Supreme Lord, we'll be pleasing to everybody also. A servant of Krishna is very pleasing to everybody. So we have to come to that stage of pure devotee stage, and then we'll be very pleasing to everyone, we'll be very pleasing to Krishna. We'll stop here. Prabhupada ki jai, Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.